I run Yom, currently painting the colours onto the new front for our food stall for this year. Welcome.
Are we ready? Okay, let's go.
I started Yom all the way back in 2020. I felt like I was at a point in my life where something needed to change. I've worked in kitchens since I was 16, and that was where I learned a lot of my skills, and I'd say it taught me a lot, and I really enjoyed it. Working 70 hours a week, it just takes away a lot of your social life, and I didn't have any weekends off for about 8 months. I started to become a bit of a zombie in that job. That's when I thought, okay, I think I need to move away from kitchens. So that's what led me to a sales job. I was working in a call centre. I did that for about 1.5 years, and that is right when we hit lockdown. We were moved to work from home. So what was once the fun, bustling office environment, everyone was talking, having fun while we were working, suddenly became a quiet living room alone, calling customers during a time where people had no money, trying to sell them things that I didn't really want to sell them and they didn't want to buy. It just felt like a bit of a dead end. My passion truly was in food, it wasn't in sales, and I needed to reignite that. I started thinking about ways that I could bring this food passion to life in a more sustainable and enjoyable lifestyle. So I decided, you know what, I'm good at cooking, I have a house, let's start something. I did a bit of research while I was on my last few weeks at the call centre, how to start a business from home, getting a few ideas in place. I just went for it and I started Yom. I was doing a new menu every month, 2 weekends a month, and I just started as a takeaway from home, built up a local customer base, and was just sharing it on like local Facebook groups. And really the intention behind it was just to share some good, clean, healthy food in a time when the world really needed it. The reason that I went down the route of choosing something healthy and nourishing to serve is because not only do I notice that what I eat really affects how I feel, it's not just what we eat, it's what we consume, whether it's the people we talk to, the things we watch on the internet, or the books we read. It has a direct effect on the way we feel. I really felt a draw towards clean, good food that makes me feel good. I was brought up vegetarian, went on and off through eating meat and being vegetarian through my childhood. And as I grew up and started to understand a bit more about what we put into our bodies equals what we get out, it led me to just start experimenting, creating healthy, nourishing, good food with simple ingredients that everyone knows, but in a way that hadn't been done before. When I was younger, I don't think I ever really thought about owning a business. I've always been a little bit entrepreneurial, whether it was selling sweets at school or helping my mum on her face paint stall. I think when I originally thought about this idea, it was a very different vision of what was to come than what it's become. Being so young and so new to running a business, you don't really know what it actually takes. But yeah, it's not something I'd change. I think that food at festivals these days can be very standard. You're not getting a good value meal. You're getting something that has been, purchased from a supplier, cooked and served, and a lot of the time, not good quality ingredients and not much thought behind the product. I saw a gap for something that's clean and nourishing, but still fills that value spot. I thought that it'd be the perfect thing to bring something that is not only clean and good for you, but is also really tasty, really enjoyable to eat, and has a good sustainable ethos for the environment. What makes me passionate about cooking? I think my passion for food comes from a few different places. I find it really rewarding feeding people a good nourishing meal. A lot of the time, customers are coming back to let us know how much they enjoyed the meal. Sharing the energy that I put into creating these meals in a way where people are not only enjoying it, but also absorbing the energy that I've put into it through them and through the food is quite a magical feeling. Right now, I don't have a long-term plan, and I think that although a lot of people say that in business it's good to have a goal to work towards. With the way the last few years has gone, I think that really my focus at the moment is to continue doing what I'm doing right now, but get to a point where it's consistent. So essentially it's just building a stronger structure and foundation around what I've already built to create something more sustainable for the future. Over the last few years, there's been some incredible memories. There's been some great times, there's been some not so great times. Say one of the highlights was 2023, Sunday night at Vegan Camp Out. We had our speakers, we had the decks on, and if you know Yom, we love to play drum and bass, especially at night. All the music had finished, except for Yom. Full blast, and we gathered a crowd of at least 70 people, skanking out the front of the stall. Everyone was screaming "Bowls for your soul." And that was quite a special feeling, because something I've created with that many people surrounding it and dancing and just enjoying the vibe that we created is it's what I do it for. When you're starting a business, there's always going to be tough times because you have to learn to adapt and change, and that's part of running a business. And I think over the last year or 16 to 18 months, that's what I've realized the most, is it's important to be able to change and adapt what you do, because the world is constantly changing and adapting. Over the last year, there was some real hills, real ups and downs, some big roller coasters that had to be ridden. Those things are what teach you, and those things are what make you stronger and be able to continue to do what you do. Last year, I definitely had some moments where I was ready to throw the towel in. There was 3 events in particular last year that unfortunately just didn't go the way we'd hoped. With festivals now being such a big investment to be able to bring your food and trade there, when they don't go well, it's one thing, but when they go so badly to the point that you haven't even got enough money from the festival to pay your staff, that really changes your mindset on a lot of things. And that was something that I hadn't faced up until 2025. Nothing really prepares you for that feeling, because although you might think about what could happen if something went really bad, that doesn't prepare you for what it actually feels like. Just looking at the what ifs that really make you realize that, okay, this can go either way. Again, it comes back to that thing of, there's a reason that I'm doing this. Since the start, my family have been my biggest support. I have to big up my mum, although my whole family have been a massive support, including my dad and sisters. My mum, or Mummager as I like to call her, have really been like a massive help for me over the years, whether it's just talking through ideas till 2 a.m. or helping me with numbers, or even just writing out messages and just little things. I think the support network around it is what makes it possible. If I was to start again tomorrow, there'd be a few things I'd change. I think not in this reality, but in an alternate reality, potentially I'd consider whether it's smart to start a vegan business, truthfully, because although the practices and the ethos resonates with me, something that is specifically targeting a minority of people isn't necessarily the best idea, because depending on where you are and where you trade and where your customers are can really make or break a business. And I think running a vegan business specifically can be a lot harder, especially in the festival industry, where you're paying a big chunk of money to trade in an event that you don't know what it's going to be like, you don't know what the customers are going to be like, you don't know who's going to be eating and what they're going to be eating. So I think, running a business that is specifically vegan is a questionable choice. I think that 16-year-old Jordan wouldn't recognise the current Jordan. I was a very different person back in 2016, and I think things have changed a lot for the best, and I definitely think that the younger me would be very proud of who I've become and where we are now. A lot's changed since the younger me, and I think I feel like a completely different person, to be honest.
Are you proud of current Jordan? Is current Jordan proud of current Jordan?
Current Jordan is definitely proud of current Jordan. I mean, all of the tough times and the fun times and the long nights and the washing up and the cleaning have definitely all been worth it, because look at me, I'm sat in my own kitchen, which is something I only dreamed of 5 years ago, with all my equipment, all my toys, which I keep buying. And to be honest with you, this is where I am now, is where I imagined I'd be one day.
So just start by introducing yourself, tell us how you know Jordan and what your connection to Yom is.
So yeah, my name's Teddy. I've known Jordan pretty much my whole life. We went to the same primary school. Connection to Yom, I guess just seeing the whole process from talking about it as ideas. We used to say, like, if something was really delicious and interesting, we'd say it's like that's a Yom thing, like kind of building up the future idea of some kind of food business or something like that. I mean, I've worked a couple of festivals. Everyone's quite like-minded and you're serving good food. It's clean, and because the whole idea has been built off that certain like-minded concepts, the customers are the same. So it just creates like a centre of like-minded people coming together, and it feels like a really healthy environment to work in. Advice is like quite a big thing. Whenever we meet up in the evenings or we do stuff, we always talk about Yom, and I think I help discuss creative ideas and give advice on recipes and things like that. Just kind of a third perspective for Jordan to kind of bounce off. It's interesting, that kind of like-minded thing, because we don't promote that we're doing drum and bass with food, but because of the kind of intentions that are put into it, naturally people like the music too, because there's kind of patterns between people. Those nights where loads of people are loving the music, and then we're serving food and good compliments on the food, good compliments on the music, and just creating like exactly what we envisioned, was really rewarding, I think, and it felt like a really good moment. It felt like that was kind of it completed. It makes a lot of sense, I think, that he does run the business and he's ended up going down this path. He's quite different, and I don't know how to describe it, like bouncy and unorthodox, and people might see that as like undisciplined and unfocused, but I think actually people like that are the ones that are supposed to run their own business. He was working other jobs that just don't really lead to any. I think it needs to lead to something that can grow and develop and change, because of the type of character he is. Definitely last year was a low. My response to like the darkest things is to always just laugh. Yeah, and that was like pretty bad, but I'm trying to just kind of be a bit of light amongst it all. But it's like very real issues, very real debt and loss after so much work. It's like full-time hard work, organising, paying people, doing absolutely everything you can. I saw him put everything you can into it, but because of where the effort was going, the energy wasn't recycled back because of the nature of the events. Even myself, I thought maybe that's not, I mean, it wasn't the way, and that did need to stop. And that now has, but it's kind of resurrected. It doesn't need to be the end of it. It's just coming through another iteration, and choosing events more wisely and stuff. But yeah, that was, it got pretty close, but luckily with a good support network, financially and emotionally and creatively, we've been able to keep it going. I think it's going to be a good one this time. Music's just absolutely fundamental, I think, to it. It's like a very niche interest in music that we shared with each other before going to festivals. Because of our wider friendship group, it was quite isolating, like we were the only people into it, but it had so much power and such a like specific sound that we bounced off each other, like kind of discovering this music, sharing it with each other. And yeah, I don't need to talk about the benefits of dance and dance music. Eventually we're old enough to go to Boomtown, We went to Boomtown, and yeah, that was just like a crazy spiritual playground full of like-minded people. It was like a miraculous event, really. I always say that the rave or dance floor is like my church, because that's where you really let loose, you let go of your ego and you dance and you're just fully in the moment. And so if you can share that with people, it creates just a eternal bond. Music's been really, really important for our friendship, and it will continue to be a kind of a pillar of it, I think, into the future. I think Jordan's definitely matured through the process of creating this business and saving it from failure as well. He's had to kind of, I think when we were younger, he was quite silly and jokey, and he still has that now, but he also has like a really strong foundation of discipline towards your work and what's important, and keeping those priorities in the right order.
Are you proud of Jordan?
Yeah, definitely, very proud, because it's easy to have, like, I'm full of ideas, creative input, advice. It's easy to do that, but the long part is tidying up, cleaning up, organising everything, building it, doing the physical labour, carrying literally tons, thousands of kilograms of food around. It's a pain, and I'm very proud of what he's done, what he's built, and where we are now, even sat in the unit. It's like, it's hard to, like, sometimes, you know, you just look at the takings and profits from events and how much time goes into it, and it can look a bit shaky, but when you kind of zoom out and look at the material results as well, it's been massively successful, I think. So yeah, I'm really proud of Jordan for what he's done so far.
Excellent. What is your involvement with the company?
I am Jordan's mum. Well, he calls me his mummager because I basically help manage the company with him. Any decisions he's not sure about, we discuss. And we have a kind of very informal business meeting most nights when he comes home from whatever he's been doing that day, and then we sit together for a while, go through whatever comes up. So where to get British chickpeas from, to how to design a new shop front, whatever is going on that day. When Jordan came to me with an idea to create a business, it was lockdown. He'd been working really hard selling phones, but before that he'd trained as a chef and he really enjoyed cooking. So one day he basically sold, I'm pretty sure that they were, I think it was burritos that he sold about 16 of them. I bought 4 of them. And that was like the first day of really the business. And he just ran with it. I mean, he had lots of very big ideas, which he still has and which do come to pass. Like, I'm amazed at how much he can do and how nothing holds him back. When he started really cooking big batches of food, there literally just wasn't room in our family kitchen, because everything started at home in the family kitchen for the first few years. So a week or two before a big festival, he'd set up a gazebo outside and he'd be cooking outside with gas stoves, preparing everything outside. So like taking over the drive, and it was all, I mean, it looked like basically having a food stall from home, but it was all being cooked out there. When we got to festivals with this food, there wasn't enough time for this food to be cooked how he likes it to cook, because he layers the flavours, takes a full day to make one of his curries. So he needed to make them, freeze them, and then take them to a festival so that they could be defrosted and be in their top condition. One day we were getting ready for a festival. He'd made, I think, 17 tubs, each of 15 portions of one of his curries. We'd put it all in the fridge. We hadn't cooled it enough, we didn't realise. And when he went to the fridge, it basically leaked out of the containers. It was all ruined, it smelled terrible, and we had to bin the lot. And then he was in panic because he had a festival the next day, and it ended up with Jordan's dad and me literally like prepping food in the kitchen, helping him make the whole lot again so that he could take it to a festival. One of the things I used to say to Jordan all the time when he was a child was, is it made for that? He'd get hold of things and he'd be so interested in how they were made that he would take things apart just to see how they worked, but he couldn't always get them back together. That's kind of built into who he is now as a person, because he's got so much confidence about making things, learning how to make things. He, you know, he's quite capable of using all kinds of tools. He's really grown from learning to take things apart to actually learning to build things without any stress as well. He just gets on with it. I always thought he would end up either partners or with his own business, because I just didn't think he'd want to answer to anyone else when he's got all these ideas. I didn't think that, you know, he'd not want to reach his capabilities, and I felt under somebody else he might not be able to do that because they might, you know, not want to put all his ideas into practice. There was a time at a festival where we'd worked really hard. We didn't know how well we were going to do, but we'd taken all the food with us, everything that we had. We sold out of food and we didn't really know what we were going to do. We were about 3 hours from home. We didn't know, we were working out, should we go home, get the cooking equipment, bring it down? We didn't know what to do. I felt so proud of him that we'd sold out the food, but also it's like, what are we going to do? We borrowed some big bowls and stuff from some of the food traders. Jordan and I went to the supermarkets as they opened at 7 a.m. because there's limited hours in when you can go in and out of a festival when you're trading there. He hadn't been to bed. He cooked throughout that day and through the night to make more food, which was just as good food, and we sold all that.
The final question, are you proud of Jordan?
I couldn't be more proud. I'm sorry. There was times when he was young when it was, sorry, I'm really sorry. I'm really proud of him. There was times when he was young when he just didn't want to do very much. He didn't feel called to anything. He needed him to find something to do. The whole family were really upset with him. He didn't want to stay in education, but legally he had to stay in education till he's 18. But he did enjoy cooking, so he suggested just do a college course, you know, learning to cook. He was going to get work experience at a local really high class restaurant, and it'd all been set up. They'd agreed to take him for work experience, but Jordan, being Jordan, managed to get a part-time job at this same place before the work experience. And then not only had he found something he wanted to do, he took it to a higher level, you know, got a job at the place of the work experience, and ended up, when he finished college, just, you know, being able to, he could have worked pretty much anywhere he wanted to as a chef. I'm proud of how he's built this out of nothing. He's taken his dreams and run with it. Yeah, I couldn't be more proud. You know, I can't believe that he's, you know, getting on for 26 now, and he's created all of this from that just little boy. Who knows where the future will go with him.
I have been thinking over the past year that it is time for us to adapt and change a little bit. The world's changing, the world's moving fast, and Yom needs to keep up. So this year, we're bringing a brand new hummus spot concept to events and festivals across the UK. The concept is based around super simple, but really good hummus, made fresh on site with 5 simple ingredients. Sourcing quality ingredients, we're focusing on using British ingredients this year. So we've gone out the way of sourcing British chickpeas from the one farm that grows them in England when they're available, along with spelt flour grown in England, ground in England for our pita breads, which are going to be super soft, super fluffy, and then a nice selection of different sauces and toppings to top the bowls. Super simple concept with a brand new, fully hand-built, hand-painted front to go on the stall. It is very exciting, and I can't wait to bring it out at events this year. I think the most exciting part about this new phase for 2026 is the fact that it's all new, everything's going to feel different, which means a learning curve for us, but also brand new and exciting feeling approaching this season this year. I'd say that the biggest difference in what we're changing to this year is the fact that we are simplifying the menu, and we're going to be doing a lot of the cooking on site. Previously, you've done a lot of batch cooking, freezing, and taking things frozen in a fridge van to festivals, which is great and it works well, but it limits how much we can produce in a set amount of time before festivals. This year, we'll be able to produce and cook as much food as we need for the festivals. And I say that's the biggest difference because we're going to be able to basically scale up or down what we're cooking to keep up with demand at festivals.
Amazing. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.